In today's video, you'll learn how to create a Mailchimp sign-up form in WordPress using mail opt-in. And this tutorial will be based on this documentation, which I'll be leaving a link to in the description down below. Alright, let's begin from our WordPress dashboard. We'll hover over mail opt-in and click on integrations. So here you just want to make sure that you have your Mailchimp API key installed. You can find Mailchimp in this menu on the left. Alright, so once your Mailchimp integration is set up, click on opt-in campaigns in the side menu. Click on add new. And now we need to name our opt-in. I'm going to call it Mailchimp. Now let's go ahead and choose a theme. And then we're going to start customizing our opt-in. So we can use this menu over on the left to customize our opt-in. For example, we can go to design to customize its overall look. So this is how we would change the width of the opt-in. We can also set a display effect. We also have options to change the colors and add custom CSS. We can also click on specific elements on the opt-in. For example, if we click on this heading, that will open up its menu with its customization options. So as a quick example, we'll change this text to subscribe to our newsletter. If you want, you can customize more options such as color and font size. And the same process applies to the description if you need to make edits. Next up, we have form fields, and in this font, we have a name and email field. We have an option here to use custom HTML to customize the opt-ins fields, and we can also display only the call to action button if we need to. Now let's take a look at the name field. We have an option here to hide this field by toggling this switch. If we do this, we'll only have an email field. Let's customize this title by replacing this text with full name just to keep it simple. We'll keep the colors and the fonts the same. We'll also keep the field required. And we'll move on to the next field, which is email. This one is required by default, but we'll just go ahead and make a small change to the title. Now, if you want to collect more information, you can always add a custom field by clicking on this button. And I'll show you a quick example of this by adding a field called company. Okay, now we're going to keep the type as text. And let's skip the colors for now and move on to the font first. I think the font for the others is Palatino, so we'll use this one. And we'll make the color black. Okay, now let's say for some reason we really need to collect this information. We'll go ahead and make it required by toggling this switch. Alright, so that's it for fields. Now we can move on to our button. We'll keep the default button label, which is subscribe now. And we'll also go ahead and change our button background color. Alright, so once we're done, we can move on to the configurations tab. And here we have an option to hide the close button. There is one to close the overlay on click, which is activated by default. We can also add a sound effect for when the opt-in gets displayed. We also have options to set our cookie and success cookie durations. And we can also remove mail opt-ins branding. We'll move on to the integrations tab, and under new integration, we'll use the drop-down menu to select Mailchimp. Then we'll need to select our email list from this menu. And we'll move on to the next section, which is tags. Now, I already have a tag set up in Mailchimp that I'm going to use for this demonstration. In Mailchimp, if we navigate to tags on the left, we'll take a look at the first tag on the list, which is mail opt-in. I'll be using this one inside of our integrations panel. So let's go ahead and type in mail opt-in here. And just for this video, maybe we can disable double opt-in. We'll move on to after conversion, which lets us configure a success action. By default, it's set to display a success message, but if you want to, you can choose another action from this list. And this is our success message. We can also configure an autoresponder. You can simply add your content and turn it on. Moving on to the next option here, you can enter an email address to receive new lead notifications. And if you're an advanced user, you also have the option to add a success triggered script. Alright, now we'll go back to the main menu to move on to display rules, and let's go to page targeting. So this is where we can see exactly where our opt-in gets displayed. So you can choose the options below to select specific locations. Now we'll go to user targeting, and we'll choose to show our opt-in to only users who are not logged in. If you want to, you can also go ahead and configure device targeting, but we'll skip this one for our example. Now we need to determine what triggers the opt-in, and I'm going to select after scrolling down X%. Now let's set it to about 15%. Okay, and now we can activate the rule. Alright, so we are finally done with our configuration. Let's go ahead and save our changes. We'll click on the X to go back. Alright, now I'll go ahead and activate the opt-in. And now we can go ahead and open the website in a new incognito window to test out our opt-in. Alright, so all we need to do here is scroll down to about 15% of the page and the opt-in should show up. Now we'll enter some random information in this form and subscribe. So here's our success message. Let's see if that information was passed on to Mailchimp. So if we go to all contacts, we'll see the lead that we just added. We can see our mail opt-in tag, they're subscribed, and here on the source, we have mail opt-in. Alright, so I really hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching and see you next time.